I'd like to share with you a little demonstration invented by Stephen R. Covey, and you may all be familiar with it, but it's one of my favorites. And basically, imagine this is your life. The rocks represent the important things like God, your family, your marriage, your health, and then the sand. Well, it's supposed to be sand, but I didn't have any sand laying around my house. I had to use sugar. So the sugar represents all the little things, the things that ultimately aren't that important, like all the constant picking up toys and the dishes and the laundry, things like that. But see how there's all these rocks, and I actually could not fit them in. And I mean, it's just, don't you just feel like this is your life sometimes? You just have so much to do, and there's never enough time in a day. You're just running with barely enough time to breathe, and it's just, you just feel like an overload. Well, if we try, let's try this, and let's take out everything and start over. This pickle jar smells really strong right now. I dumped it out last night and poured the pickles in a Tupperware thing, and I'm like, I don't even have a jar for this demonstration. So let's try putting in the rocks first, which, like I said, represents God and the most important things in our lives. Maybe I should use this smaller jar. Well, this one did fit. And then we pour in the sugar. And see how everything just falls into place. And it's just amazing how now it all fits. And it didn't fit before. So I just really like this demonstration, and it's a constant reminder for me, because I'm not always perfect with putting the most important things first and keeping my priorities straight. I'd like to share with you a couple times where I found myself completely off balance, and I think it's very common throughout our lives, and it's normal, and it's just bound to happen. It's our growing process, but I think it tends to occur when you find a new hobby, or in my case, obsession. Back in high school, it was boys, dating, my appearance, being popular, which ultimately equaled bad grades, low self-esteem, and barely graduating. And in college, the whole 2 semesters I went, it was my weight, and the more I obsessed over it, the more I wanted to eat, which obviously resulted in more weight gain. A couple years ago, it was Grey's Anatomy. I never watched it on TV. I ended up just renting the DVDs, which is very bad because you can always continue watching it. And they're so good with each episode, you just want to know what's going to happen with Meredith and Derek, you know? You just want to find out, so you're like, okay, just one more. So I just ended up watching way too much of Grey's Anatomy, which resulted in messy house, piles of laundry. And most recently was the internet, my blog. Funny, I know, a blog about balance set my life completely out of balance. I'm reading this incredible book right now on the brain, and this book really stood out to me when I was at Barnes & Noble because it says it's called The Magnificent Mind at Any Age, and for me, I'm noticing that I'm losing my mind. I'm getting older, and with each pregnancy, I mean, they say that when you're pregnant, you start being very forgetful, but I don't feel like my memory is even coming back after having the baby. I'm like, it's just getting worse. So I need all the help I can get, and of course, I want to try to spend time developing my mind as well, and so this was very interesting to me to learn about the brain. I'd like to share with you another book that I got a little inspiration from as well. I'm not sure if you guys, well, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with the Duggar family. They have that reality series on TLC. But they also have this book, and book, I was instantly curious to read it because I always wondered, how in the heck does this mom do it? I mean, first of all, she's pretty much pregnant all the time, which I could not imagine. And she takes care of all these kids, she homeschools them all, and she wrote a book about it. So I just think that this woman is amazing, and I was so inspired by her. I mean, after I was done reading this book, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be just like her. I'm gonna have lots of kids, I'm gonna homeschool them all, we're gonna have 3-hour scripture study every day, and I was just so motivated. And that lasted about an hour. My husband actually helped me see things a little more clearly. He's like, we were out on our date night, and I was like telling him how I wanted to be just like Michelle Duggar, and he's like, sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but you could never be like that. I'm like, rude? And he's like, this woman probably never gets, well, I'm sure she never gets her hair done, she doesn't have girls' night outs, she probably never uses the internet, she doesn't watch Grey's Anatomy or Glee or Ellen, and I mean, and the list went on. I was like, okay, I get it.